Hi, I had a video in my YouTube channel that was called Death by Irrelevance, which means like kind of talk about when many technologies come on to use in the society like here, and they gradually replace many functions that people do, or a company might be doing that function, and uh, make many jobs, many companies, many institutions totally irrelevant, totally they're like they're there, they haven't died, they physically exist, but gradually society just kind of puts them on the side. It's like I sometimes buy something is on sale, like cans or close dated cans, and I see them and say, hey, this is very cheap. I'll buy them because I'm used to like buying chicken noodle. But then I bring them home and I store them, and then I keep them, and I come back next week, and another 2 weeks go by, and then become utterly irrelevant because I just don't eat that much chicken soup. It was on sale. But this kind of discussion um, should be more prevalent in society because, for example, it shows up in some places. For example, I saw ad or a YouTube video that talk about all the people that will lose their jobs when AI comes on. Really, we're already losing a lot of jobs, but what if um, AI comes on, and then right along with AI, we have robots that look like really nice looking blonde, and she's teaching the kids from K1 to 12. She replaces all the teachers. We have like about 1 million of them, and it's kind of indistinguishable from a real nice looking teacher, elementary school teacher. Well, that's just one example. But how many jobs we have like that? But not only jobs are going to become irrelevant, but also uh, many buildings, many cars, many forms of government, uh, even like travel. You don't need as much airplane travel because hey, you can just use WhatsApp. I see my mom a lot more than now that I used to see her like 10, 20 years ago. It was very difficult, especially I'm here in US, and all the shit that the US government has done to make life impossible for Iranians over there and the Iranians over here. I look at all the stuff that, for example, I lost my privilege of traveling because the U.S. government had made it so dangerous, so uncertain. Like if I moved out, then I couldn't move back in because they had made travel and immigration so impossible for Iranian diaspora, and they are assholes. But I see that, for example, technology came along, like WhatsApp came along and replaced all the stuff that I had lost because of these assholes. But then also, for example, they had completely closed all the Iranian banks in the US and made it impossible to transfer money. And then this went on for 5, 10 years. Then cryptocurrencies came along. I can buy cryptocurrencies here and transfer them via electronic means to over there, and they'll go cash it. And it's like the more despotic and the more stupid the form of government becomes, and the stuff they do, the more irrelevant they become, and all the rules and crap that they have constructed, they become some worthless relics of the past. Well, some of the stuff that were very damaging that the American government had done. One of them was that they require like a green card or work permit for professional people to work. Basically, kind of destroyed my career as an engineer. I spent all this money getting degrees, and they sold all the industries to China, and also made it impossible to get any of the professional jobs that someone like me should be getting. But then technology came along, COVID came in, and everybody has been inside, and I can work for 20 different companies now. I could do anything I wanted without these assholes' permission. I could work for 2,000 companies. I could now work as an engineer, even though I'm like a really old engineer. I was working in this place. I think it was a Home Depot, and they had this all these energy producing devices that they convert natural gas. I think basically they boil it, and the hydrogen comes out of the natural gas, and then they use the hydrogen, something like that. And then they were just quietly working on the side of the building, and also they had these huge water pumps and machinery. I was looking at them. I was working like a security guard. I was looking at them. I say, hey, I have a master's in mechanical engineering, fluid dynamics, and these are the stuff that I should be designing or maintaining or servicing. And the same goes with these fancy energy producing devices. While I'm doing all this other shit. Like I'm looking at these devices and things and saying, I'm like, I felt like a casualty, but then everything is changing. I could like design those machinery now on the internet and order them from Far East, and they'll come here, and I'll have those machineries. Or well, a lot of people they're using the more mundane kinds of decentralization. Like they'll sit at home and they pick up the phone and order all kinds of food from Del Taco or Pizza Hut and have it delivered. Now there is all these companies that are delivery companies, all these companies that take people around, like Uber, all these companies that make communication possible, make phone calls very cheap, But then won't we get to a point where I would be going to school and I would be working and I would be finding girlfriends. Everything is goes online and has become decentralized. I think it has been very nice, very good. When I used to, what 30, 40 years ago when I was in the University of New Hampshire, when I needed a women, you know, the urging would come in. The only places that the stupid town had was some discos and bars. I would go to the disco, and you could basically talk to the girls, and because there's always other people around, you couldn't really get to mess with her as much as you would like to. There's all these social norms, Yankee way of thinking and doing things, which always benefits them. It was like my love life was always like an incomplete picture. But now I get on the Instagram and I have all these women, and now I found out that women are like about 10 times more sexually active and aggressive than men. Like back then, I used to think, hey, if I went and mess with her and talk to her and kind of grab her hair or grab her whatever, then I would be really aggressive kind of guy. I better not do that. I better take it slowly, and but then I see that women when they're online, they're like ruthless. Like she's like she don't care. She say or do anything, show up anywhere. Yeah, basically, the roles have changed. It's like women are like the traveling salesman or businessman. They pick up guys. The guys are acting like a helpless little blonde, but everything has switched places. But then this decentralization, this all these apps and all these technologies and AI, they have made governments irrelevant. There's a lot of things that they do and that if they didn't do, you wouldn't know, you wouldn't care. Uh, well, the banks are a lot of them are going to go out of business, but hey, if I can buy cryptocurrencies and do just about everything that the Federal Reserve does with it, with their money, I could lend it, I could get interest on it, I could send it across the world, I could. Why I need the Federal Reserve? I am just as much of a banker as anybody. Uh, all this happened without my any kind of investment. Just the technology, just it makes all these things possible. Well, I saw um, a video about a guy that he claimed that he's a time traveler, and he was talking about a future of, that well, each town in this supposed future has computer systems, that every computer system does all the functions that the administration of a city or government or a police department would do. Everybody listens to them because it has been so honed down by practice and over time. It's like I just feel that a lot of these institutions we have now, uh, they're like pendant. You know how the monkeys evolved and they still had tail, but we humans have the vestige of that tail somewhere. No, nobody thinks of humans as having a tail, but we still have all these institutions. Well, Salante was talking about uh, that a lot of these office buildings we have, they are really useless, and the occupancy rate is very low now, 30 to 50%, and probably somewhere down the road, investors will be buying these things cheap and will do everything to convert them into something that's like housing. But uh, well, the housing itself might like crash and never come back. People think that the housing might crash, and hey, that's housing. They crash, and they'll come back. The government will print more money, but nobody thinks that something that has become too much of a burden, too expensive, too many people are abusing it. It might crash, and then it never come back. This thing happens to biological system, like an old fart that has been drinking and doing drugs for 30 years. He suddenly has a massive heart attack, and he never comes back. Who says that things that have become redundant, there is too many of them, they're very expensive, they waste money, they're polluting, when they crash, that they will come back. Well, the more realistic scenario is that they will not come back, or there will be like a midget replacement. You can say these things about stocks or bonds. Uh, well, I was thinking giving some of my money to my family, and I was thinking, hey, if I bought more cryptocurrencies, then I could just easily transfer it to them. They could cash it anywhere. Well, if I bought stocks of U.S. companies, well, first of all, they'll be crashing, but the transferring them is more involved. I have to go get the stock certificate. Tell my broker, hey, issue me the copy of my stock certificate. And many of the brokers, they don't even have these things. It's like a little entry in their system. Hey, Hassan has 100 shares of ABC company. We have the equivalent of the money here. Fucking, we are not ready to buy these shares from ABC. We're just gonna wait until ABC stock crashes. Or he buy them for $10 a share. But we'll be buying it at $1, and then if he ever asks for his certificates, hey, we'll give you these. But maybe he won't, and we only owe him $10. they, they are so phony, and so many people abuse this system. And it's there. Some stupid form of cryptocurrency might do me better than back then in University of New Hampshire, like 20, 30 years ago, like I would see in the disco, I would see this really nice blonde, nice big boobies, just like a Nordic bitch, And I was like, oh my god, if I fucked her, then my life would be so much better, you know. But over the years, these wonderful Nordic women, they were the baby boomers. A lot of them grow old and nobody wants them or nobody want to look at them. But the ones that are still younger and they're good looking, uh, they have become such an institution. Like the men, they don't know what to do with her. She's she's so expensive. Many of them have drug problems. You kind of approach this bitch with some apprehension. You're like, what's gonna come out of this? But well, the ones that are now on drugs, they they're a lot more desperate than back then. But also their husband or boyfriend or the guy, baby boomers, they either have been doing meth for 20 years, they're really zonked out on life, or they have died, or they're planning to go and die in Middle East or Ukraine. So there's all these women, just like, I find myself like endangered the species, a guy, older guy. Have all these women. I don't know what to do with all of them. Uh, well, I kind of want to project into a future where everything has changed so much that a lot of buildings, a lot of institutions, a lot of schools, a lot of forms of employment, they have become extinct. We are entering a very strange society. Like, I want to kind of figure out how to live like that. But I think that the forms of family will start coming back because, well, we all like atomized individuals. Finally, people will get sick of it. So hey, let me find the bitch, let me find the guy, let me find the friend, let me whatever. The I think groups and families will show up again. Oh well, I wanna make other videos about decentralization. I had the video on YouTube. It's called Decentralization, Parallel Currencies and Shadow Governments, and long-term effects of decentralization. Thank you very much. Uh, I'm gonna put this up in YouTube, in TikTok, and on Instagram. I'm doing great in TikTok. I'm hitting that. But another 500-600 followers, and I'll have my own show. And I'm also getting to audition again. Artists, they're calling me or texting me. Like I got 3-4 texts. Hey, we have a Zoom meeting, Zoom audition. Okay, thank you very much. And back then, I had to spend all this money in my 8-cylinder Crown Victoria, go all the way to Northern Hollywood to just for one audition. Thank you very much. If you are one of those nice blonde followers of mine, I want to let you know I'm totally available. You can easily get my phone number. Actually, if you have a coffee date with me, I will pay for the coffee. I got that much cash on me. Thank you.